so much for joining us today. I'm going to stop sharing this important slide so we can see each other. Welcome. Today's exciting Shabbat Shalom Shabbat, today's exciting Shalom Shabbat program is a bit different from past Shalom Shabbat programs for a few reasons. This program is the official kickoff to Sharsheret's first summit to mark Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Throughout the next 10 days, Sharsheret will be offering a unique array of national programs, campaigns, and opportunities. I will share more about that at the end of this program. Additionally, today's musician does not have a personal breast cancer story. His story is one of family genetics, and the beautiful music he will share was composed by him in memory of his aunt. It's a great reminder having Eitan with us today that these issues don't just impact women, but impact men and women, whether through having a loved one diagnosed or a personal diagnosis themselves. My name is Melissa Rosen, and I am the Director of Training and Education at Sharsheret. Again, thank you for being with us. Over the past 18 months, I have loved that Shalom Shabbat programs have been a chance for us to reconnect and to recenter. With the fall holidays just completed, this seems like the perfect time to take a deep breath as we dive into the year ahead. A few moments of Zoom etiquette. Just a reminder that you were muted upon entry to today's program. Please stay on mute so that we can clearly hear today's presenters. As always, this program will be recorded and posted on Sharsheret's website, but no names or faces will be shown. You can choose to remain anonymous today, however, if you'd like, by changing your name. And you can do that by clicking the three dots at the top of your photo square. You will be notified when the recording and transcript of the program is posted on Sharsheret's website. Please feel free to share that link with anyone you think might be interested. Of course, I want to thank the many sponsors of today's program and the entire Sharsheret Summit, which you saw on the slide as you entered today's program. Okay, let's get started. However you celebrate and whatever your experience with Shabbat is or has been, we can all use the opportunity to recenter ourselves in the midst of treatment, survivorship, the pandemic, or like I say, just the normal chaos of a life well lived. And that's what today's about, and that's what these programs are about. Together, today we will explore some of the different gifts we have in our lives and how our focus on them can strengthen gratitude and how that can lead to healing. That focus can enhance both Shabbat and life as a whole. And we will each come away with a bit of inspiration for the week ahead. As I've mentioned in previous programs, there's always some level of chaos in life: work, family, volunteer commitments. And of course, for those of us who have faced cancer or are dealing with survivorship, there's even more chaos. It's absolutely necessary to take a break for our health and our happiness. And by the way, a reminder that mental health professionals, and we've heard this a lot during the pandemic, also recommend taking a time each week to pause from this normal chaos and to do so on a regular basis. And our tradition, the Jewish tradition, gives us just that, a weekly pause, simply an opportunity to rest and regroup each week, to focus on what's important to us, what gives our lives meaning. Of course, that's different for each of us: family, health, perhaps something else entirely. And how we celebrate is different for each of us, how we celebrate or mark that pause. Some of us celebrate traditionally. Others have found innovative ways to make Shabbat meaningful. While some prepare elaborate meals, others choose takeout pizza as a break in cooking. Some attend services, either virtually or in person. Others spend time in nature. Every one of us celebrates in a way that's meaningful to each of us. But I want to encourage all of us to celebrate. Whether you've always marked Shabbat or just exploring it now, our lives deserve the pause that Shabbat provides. So take time each week to make the important things in our lives, including yourself, a priority. Our lives, even as the pandemic passes and even as cancer grows distant in the rearview mirror, are filled with chaos. Even happy chaos has an impact. So I encourage you to give yourself the gift of time dedicated to renewal. I am so pleased to introduce today's guest, Eitan Cantor. As you may realize, this is actually the first time we've had a man join us. But we felt that his story is so important and that his music is so beautiful that we needed him here today. Eitan is a musician, an educator, and a composer based in St. Louis, Missouri. Through the creation of both religious and secular Jewish music, he works to inspire social action rooted in Jewish values. He channels music through his fiddle, his singing voice, and the collective singing voice of the community. His music is rooted in the musical traditions of Eastern Europe and sends branches skyward toward the potential of the present moment. Employing organizational skills as well as performance background, Eitan uses the unifying power of group song and dance to galvanize crowds into action. I love that. Eitan will be sharing a bit of his story, his family story, and how that story led to the original music you'll hear today, and about some gifts he's received along the way. He will then perform live his song, Ziv. I'm excited to announce that this is the world premiere of the recording. After we hear this beautiful song, the world will be able to find it online and enjoy it too. Eitan, the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. What an honor to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Can everybody nod if you can hear me all right? Wonderful. Somebody, of course, started mowing their lawn right next to me like 1 minute ago, so thanks for bearing with that extra sound if you can hear it. I'm excited to share a little bit about my family's story with the BRCA gene and how that relates to a song that I'll be sharing with you today. So this melody that I'm going to share is one that I dreamt on the afternoon of April 3rd, 2020. It came to me in a dream during an afternoon nap. When I woke up from my nap, I turned my phone off of airplane mode and received news that my Aunt Debbie, Deborah Cantor-Nagler, was not doing well, and she passed away that night. And so I like to think that this melody was a gift from Aunt Debbie. Aunt Debbie was a fierce advocate of BRCA, or BRCA genetic testing. So I'm using the release of a recording of this song to spread awareness of BRCA genes and to encourage folks to get tested. I'm excited to get to share this song at a Sharsheret event because Sharsheret does absolutely amazing, life-saving work in this area. My grandma Liz and my Aunt Kathy both passed away from breast cancer. And Aunt Kathy died at the age of just 39 years old. My great Aunt Edith also died of a BRCA-associated cancer, ovarian cancer. Once our family understood that these cases of cancer were associated with BRCA, Aunt Debbie got tested and found out that she was positive for the gene. One of her first steps after that was to save her own life by getting a double mastectomy at the age of 50, and the surgery revealed that she was on the verge of developing breast cancer. Aunt Debbie began encouraging all of our family members to get tested for the gene. She sought out long-lost relatives across the country and visited them to encourage them to get tested. At this time, there was no law against medical insurance companies using that type of genetic testing information against consumers, so at the time, it was important for her to go convince these family members who were a little bit scared to get genetic testing. Those family members who have tested positive have been able to take steps such as changing their screening regimens or having preemptive mastectomies. And BRCA testing is very likely the reason why some of my cousins are here with us on Earth today, Kainanahara. So Aunt Debbie literally got in the car and drove around the country to persuade folks to get tested in our extended family and folks that she convinced included a cousin who was not raised Jewish, who had long been estranged, and who was living in Adams, Tennessee on a horse farm. That cousin ended up testing positive. As far as we know, now everybody in our first few layers of extended family has been tested. And of the 4 siblings in my Aunt Debbie's immediate family, the 2 sons tested negative, and of the 2 daughters, both were positive, and one of each of their daughters also tested positive. So my Aunt Debbie was afraid that she had given a death sentence to her daughters by passing on the gene, but in the end, she had this beautiful opportunity to shepherd them through the process of getting these preemptive surgeries and helping to save their lives. One unexpected gift that our family received related to BRCA testing was that our 2019 big family reunion was made possible by Aunt Debbie's quest to find all of our dispersed family members and to warn them about BRCA. And at this family reunion, I got to meet people that I had never met before in our family, who Aunt Debbie had found using various genealogy websites. Recently, my father was contacted through the internet because of 23andMe, a distant member of the family who had previously thought their immediate family were the only surviving members to escape from Europe. She had tested positive for BRCA and decided to use 23andMe to try to find any surviving relatives to warn them. So the awareness campaign was coming both from Aunt Debbie and from kind of within our part of the family, and people warning us from the extended family. So it's beautiful to see the amazing awareness work that is going on. That's kind of the gist of the story I wanted to share today, and so I'm really excited to share this melody that came to me as a gift in a dream from Aunt Debbie. I'm also going to post in the chat here the lyrics in English and Hebrew. Thanks for your patience. Okay, so the lyrics are in the chat now.
נפשי חולת אהבתך אנא אל נא רפנה לה בהרוד לנו המזיבה נפשי חולת אהבתך אנא אל נא רפנה לה והרוד לנו המזיבה לה שמחת עולם. אז תתחזק ותתרפא, והייתה לה שמחת עולם. דידידי דידידי דידידם, דידידי דידידי דידידם, דידידי דידידה דידידם, איי 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 איי, דידידי דידידי דידידם, דידידי דידידי דידידם, דידידי דידידה דידידם, איי 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 איי. Thank you so much for being here with me
Wow.
in song.
Wow, that was simply beautiful. And I want to thank you so much for sharing your family story. If I heard correctly, it seems like the men in your extended family have been lucky enough to not have inherited that mutation.
That's
But I
right.
do want to point out that men can have that mutation and can be affected by cancers related to BRCA. Yeah, okay. I also want to point out that your story and your music, clearly, it reminds us that it's not only a cancer diagnosis that has an impact beyond physical. There is an emotional impact from simply carrying a mutation that can raise risk. And that song was a wonderful way to express some of the emotion that your family has gone through as they've been dealing with this. The music is really a gift to all of us. The second song that Eitan will perform is actually a song by a musician named Batya Levine. It is entitled May I Be Empty, which sounds a bit sad, but if you wait to hear the lyrics, it's actually beautiful. The lyrics humbly ask to be empty in order for there to be room to take in the gifts that swirl around us. When we are diagnosed, or when we learn we carry a mutation, it is so easy to live in fear, to be overwhelmed by sadness or by anger. And as a survivor myself, you will never hear me say that cancer is a gift. But it is important to be open to the gifts around us, the beauty, the joy, and even moments of contentment. It's also possible, and possibly even likely, that while not the cancer itself is a gift, the experience that surrounds it, that surrounds the actual cancer, may provide us with some things akin to gifts. One of the things that's so special about this program is the support and the ideas we receive from other participants on the screen. So I'd like for each of us to take a moment to think about this idea and share some surprisingly positive things that you received during your cancer experience. Type it into the chat box. Please take a moment to do that. And I'll keep talking while you do that. But Eitan shared that he met family he would never have known had this not come about. I'm happy to share a personal example. When I was first diagnosed with cancer, over 25 years ago, I had young children and a group of newish friends as we had recently moved. Those newish friends came together to support me. And 25 years later, we are still family. Because I had cancer, my children gained 7 cousins. And at this point, those cousins' children are playing with each other. So for me, I gained a whole family because of my diagnosis. Your thing may be very similar or very different to what Eitan and I shared, but either way, please share some things in the chat box. And my wonderful colleague, Becky, will be reading some of those so we can each take inspiration.
So somebody already shared, I feel like my mom and I got closer as I helped her through her cancer journey. Someone shared a community, support, and compassion. I learned how to be better at accepting help from others when I was diagnosed.
Well, it's hard for us to do sometimes. Does anybody else want to share anything? Oh,
Connection to people I didn't know.
interestingly, during our last Shalom Shabbat program, our guest, Maya Bernstein, spoke about the quiet times during her treatment and how she was able to be reflective as she slowed down during her cancer experience. For her, that was a gift. She was moving full speed ahead and not taking the time to be reflective. And so cancer was able to provide her with that. I encourage you as we move forward to continue putting things into the chat box. Even if we don't have a moment to read them, they're there for all of us to read as they go along. We can even use Shabbat as a time to step back and reflect. So there are a lot of important ways that these reflections help us, and a lot of time, whether it's Shabbat, sitting in a chemo chair, visiting with a relative, whatever it is, walking in nature, there are a lot of times that we can be reflective. And thank you to Jessica, who just put the link to that past Shabbat Shalom Shabbat. That seems to be my issue today. Shalom Shabbat in the chat box. Okay. Please welcome Eitan back to the screen as he sings May I Be Empty.
Thanks so much. I just wanted to point out a couple quick things before I start singing again. One is that my Aunt Debbie, who I was mentioning before, while she did pass away about 1.5 years ago, it was not related to any BRCA type thing. So the surgery that she had when she was 50 was actually completely effective. So I wanted to just lift that up. And I know we all have different experiences with that sort of thing, but I wanted to say in her case, the sort of miracle. And Aunt Debbie was from Teaneck, and I know that there's a Teaneck connection with Sharsheret, so I just wanted to share that. And also the next song that I'm going to sing by Batya Levine also has a Teaneck connection. Batya, who's a wonderful friend of mine, grew up in Teaneck, went to Frisch High School, and so this is actually a very Teaneck-themed set, even though I'm here in St. Louis. Okay. Okay, so this has a repeating part, which I hope that you will sing with me on mute. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive. That's the whole thing. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. That was absolutely beautiful. As we conclude, I want to remind you of a few things. First, and you know this, Sharet is here for you. Our social workers are available to answer questions, provide support, and connect you to resources. And you can reach our social workers through the email that's now in the chat box. And because Eitan's story may have inspired some of you to think about family genetics, our fantastic genetic counselor, Peggy Cottrell, is available to answer questions about testing, help interpret results, discuss whether you may need additional screening, or discuss the challenges that arise from living with a mutation. And her email is now, or contact information is now in the chat box. I mentioned that today's program was the kickoff of our very exciting schedule of our first Sharet Summit to mark breast cancer awareness. We have planned some amazing, innovative, and educational programs, and fun. I can't forget fun. From a girlfriend's guide to breast health and screening, to therapeutic baking for those in our Embrace program, a training for healthcare professionals, a healthy cooking class, and some fun awareness campaigns for you to do from home. The link to the summit schedule and registration is in the chat box now. Once again, I want to share my deep, deep thanks to Eitan for sharing both his story and his music with us today. Eitan, I don't know if you've been able to see based on what you've been doing in the chat box, but also in my phone, you clearly have a fan group here. So really thank you. And check out our social media accounts, our blog, and our website, because more from Eitan, including his song, Ziv, will be on all of those platforms for you to enjoy and re-enjoy and share. There's also a link to a very brief evaluation survey in the box right now. I am wishing you a Shabbat filled with quiet, with reflection, with joy, and a Shabbat filled with light to receive. Thank you so very much for joining us today. Shabbat Shalom.